Hi everyone, Kristen Brockman here, your trusted DFW realtor. And recently, one of my subscribers asked a really good question, and I wanted to address it because this situation comes up often. So, currently, she is renting a house, and the homeowner approached her with the opportunity to buy the house. Cool. I'm already living here. I love it here. I can buy it. I don't have to move anything. What's the catch? Well, the house is in an irrevocable trust. That's not necessarily a problem. However, there is some due diligence that needs to be done, and there are going to be more steps involved. So let's first talk about what an irrevocable trust is. An irrevocable trust is a legal arrangement where the property is managed by the trustee. With an irrevocable trust, once the trust is set up, the terms usually cannot be changed without court approval. So you need to go through the courts first if you need to change anything in the trust. So that means that the property technically belongs to the trust and not the individual. So the individual cannot just sell it like a normal home. There are steps involved that they need to follow. So, who can sell the house? Only the trustee can sell the house, the person named to manage the property. So, how do we know that this homeowner is the trustee? Well, because they told me so. Okay, we can believe them, but people lie. Or maybe they really thought that they had the authority to sell the house, but they don't, because the trust is written in legal jargon, and not everybody can understand that legal jargon. And I'm not trying to talk bad about anybody. It's hard to understand. So you may have thought you had the authority to sell this house, but you really don't. So sometimes the trust gives the trustee a broad power to be able to sell the house. Sure, go ahead and sell the house. But sometimes there are more restrictions in the trust. So it's really important to have someone review these documents before you buy or sell a house that's in a trust. All right. So, from the buyer's perspective, this doesn't mean that you can't buy the home. It just means that you really need to make sure that you're working with the right people on your side. So, I recently went through a trust sale. I was on the buying side, and um, it went relatively smoothly. However, there were some documents that were not signed ahead of time by the trustee, and that just it delayed closing. So while they did have the authority to sell, because these documents were not signed ahead of time, it just it took a little bit longer. So definitely expect that in a trust sale, that it might not take your normal 20-30 days to close. It may take a little bit longer, and that's okay. So, who reviews these documents to assess, yes, this seller has the authority to sell this house? So, you would work with a title company and or a real estate lawyer, to see if they have the authority and all the documentation to be able to sell this house. In some cases, the sale may require court approval. Not usually, but sometimes. So that's why it's really important to know what's in these documents before you just go and buy and sell a house that's in a trust. You really need to know the terms of the trust. Financing is absolutely possible. There should be no issues. The only issue will come up is the lender is going to want to make sure that the seller has the authority to sell the house. So just like title company, everybody on board wants to make sure that the seller has the authority to sell the house. So there may be some complications with the trust. There may be disputes between the beneficiaries. There may be restrictions in the trust. There may be title issues. Maybe the trust wasn't set up correctly. They used a fly by the night lawyer to set it up. So again, these are not deal breakers, but it's important to know what you're getting into so you know how to handle the situation. So, in these situations, you want to work with a realtor who has experience working with trust sales and also a title company who has the same experience. They will do that due diligence for you. So, if you have any questions about this topic or any other topic, please put them in the comments. I love the interaction. If you have an idea for my next video, I'd love to make a video based on what your questions are. I love that. I love the interaction. Of course, like, subscribe, share, comment, do all of that, and have a great day.